Hello. Hello, Lailesh. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. I recently had a round trip experience from Korea to India, and that's particularly Bangalore, and then back to Korea, currently under my quarantine. So, the options that are available, which are already discussed, first thing is Dubai Transit, and the second is the charter flight option. So, in the Dubai Transit visa, so you do not, while going from Korea to India, please note that you do not need a Dubai transit visa whatsoever, because there have been no cases where it has been asked, and so don't need to go for a transit visa, provided your transit. But please ensure that your transit time in Dubai is less than 24 hours. And as far as the flight options are concerned, from Seoul to Dubai, you can book Emirates, and from Dubai to India, please go only with the flight airline options that are mentioned in the slide. That is either Emirates or Indigo or Air India or Fly Dubai. So two important points that I would like to highlight here is, first thing is, while booking Emirates flight from Seoul to Dubai, if you have planned to come back to Korea, please book a round trip option on the Emirates website. So this will bring down the cost very much. So like, for example, in the previous one of the previous slides, you would have seen that a single trip in Emirates from Delhi to Seoul costed about 53k INR. So if you book a round trip from Seoul to Dubai, the round trip then the round trip cost will be around 40 to 42k INR. So please check that. And after that, one more thing, please do not try and experiment any other airlines, is what I would suggest, from Dubai to India. So, for example, in my case, when I traveled, most of the people had traveled from Dubai to India with Air India Express. So, until that point, people used to take that option. So, I had also booked the same option. So, I reached Dubai airport 6 to 7 hours before my flight. However, just 20 minutes before the flight, I was told I was denied to board, saying that there is no transit option available with Air India Express. Okay, with Air India Express only. So this is the case. So the staff there, until then, that point, they were also not sure. They all told us that, that should not be a problem, transit should be okay. But only when it was last 20 minutes was left, they did not allow us to board. So please do not experiment very much. I would suggest that go with Emirates or Indigo or Air India or Fly Dubai. And yeah, you would need to book a third-party luggage transfer service, which is a Marhaba luggage transfer service, for if you're taking SpiceJet or Indigo from Dubai to India. So for Emirates and Fly Dubai and also Air India, your luggage will be automatically transferred. You do not need this Marhaba luggage transfer service. So other than that, you have the charter flight options, the details about which you have already listened to. So there are two options. One is Asiana charter option and the Air India charter flight option. Yeah, thank you. That's all from me.
Yeah, thank you, Ganeshji, for sharing the travel option from
Oh,
Korea
yeah,
to
sorry.
India.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Lailesh. I would like to add one more point. So that is, while transiting in Dubai, again, you need to change your terminal. Like you would, like if you're not book, you please check for your terminals. If mostly your Dubai to India flight would be in from T2 terminal, so you need to go from T3 to T2. So you can take help from the local staff about how to go to T3. It's not, you need to skip the first two connection options and go towards the last transfer desk. From there, you can go to T3 via a shuttle bus. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, also share this one. Major documents required from Korea to India.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So from Korea to India, the documents that you primarily need are, first is your flight ticket, then the passport and your visa or the ARC, also the RT-PCR negative certificate, and then your self-declaration form, which is being checked at the Indian airport, and then re-entry permit. This is if you plan to come back to Korea, and you better have the Arogya Setu app installed on your phone. Yeah, and if you have no plans to come back to from Korea, then you have to submit your ARC card at the immigration office. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ganeshji, for sharing the major documents now I request Ankurji again for discuss about the re-entry permit and the process, how anybody can get the re-entry permit and what are the process. Ankurji.
Okay, thank you, Lalaji, for coming back to me. For re-entry permit, I'll keep it quick. You need to go on Hi Korea website, create an account. And for creating an account, you don't need anything special. You can just add details. There is a specific website for English. You can convert it into English and change the language into English and fill all the details. If you have 3 members in your family, you have to make 3 different login for each member. Even in my case, my daughter is around 2 years of age. I made a separate ID for her. And once you have your ID, then you can apply for the re-entry permit. While applying for the re-entry permit, you need to keep your credit card, the Korean credit card ready. And that is also having an English option. Once you click on that, it will redirect you towards the Samsung Pay or the credit card options. And you can pay via that. While filling up the re-entry permit, you need 2 forms. And both the forms are easily available on the website and also in our Telegram group. So if you want, you can join our Telegram group to get the forms in Word file and PDF file. You can simply fill the form by hand or by online. If you have digital signature available, you can do it on your laptop also. But my preference is I filled it up with my hand and then scanned it with the help of my phone. You can keep a PDF copy of it ready because you need to upload it into the Hi Korea re-entry permit application. The duration, what you need to do in that is there is one thing which is, there is one thing we need to make sure that while filling the re-entry permit, you have to mention the re-entry duration. Now the re-entry duration can be maximum what your ARC applicability is, or maximum 1 year, as far as I know, right, Laleji?
Yeah.
So in my case, like my visa renewal, my ARC renewal was due on 30th of April. So I filled it up on 30th of April 2021. And you need to mention the departure date and expected date of re-entry. So you can mention it accordingly and what will be the reason for re-entry.
Yeah.
And re-entry permit is the consent form, and yeah, these are the slides. And you can the purpose of application that is not this is the first is consent for medical examination, where you need to the form mentions that you will undergo the RT-PCR test upon arrival, and that this is all it says. And purpose of application is the another detail self. It's more of like a self-declaration form. You can upload it, and these are the forms. So the first one is consent for submission of certificate before re-entry. Now make sure that you have the latest form of 2021 year, because previously there was another form of 2020, which did not mention specific RT-PCR test. So now they have changed it from January 2021, and you have to sign this one and upload it. An application for re-entry, you have to mention your details of name, passport number, and date of re-entry, what is your visa status, and reason for application. Do not worry about the reason for application. Reason for application can be any. It can be a family trip, it can be a emergency at home, it can be a medical emergency at home, or it doesn't really need to be very specific. That's what I mean. Many people get confused about it. So you can fill it at your ease and upload it, and you can get it usually within 24 hours. And make sure that one thing I want to mention is that the both Hi Korea website doesn't work on Saturday and Sunday. So you have to work it out within the working hours on the weekdays from Monday to Friday, Korea working hours. And if you have any query, you can always call them also. And if you have any emergency, re-entry permit can be received on the airport only in case of family emergencies. The cost of the re-entry permit is around 25,000 KRW, and you can pay it by your debit card, by your Korean debit card, or by your Korean credit card, or by Samsung Pay also. In my case, I paid by Samsung Pay, and there was no issue with it.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Ankurji. And one thing, like in the registration number, you have to mention the ARC number. What the ARC
Yes.
number is there? Some confusion will be there. Like And about all the documents, we have to proceed, and we will get the re-entry permit within like 1 or 2 days. And before 5 days of your travel, you have to apply online. Otherwise, you will not able to apply the re-entry permit if you your travel is just after 3 days. So make sure that if you are applying the re-entry permit, then you should apply before 5 days. So thank you, Ankulji, for discussing all the details. Now I
No problem.
request Harish ji. Now I request Harish Anand ji
Hello,
to
hi.
share his
Yes.
experience and all the points. Yeah.
All right, okay. So basically, I think Ganesh ji and Ankuti shared almost all things. So I will just go to only points which were not covered by them. So first thing is, till recently, actually, there was a notification from Ministry of Home Affairs on 17th February. So after 22nd February, it has become mandatory to carry RT-PCR test result. So many of people had traveled without RT-PCR and were able to reach India till then. But now it is mandatory because they check it at Incheon Airport, then they check it at Dubai Airport, and while boarding India flight, and upon arrival in India also, there will be health officials who will be checking that one. So please keep that in mind. For I worked in Korea for almost 9 years, and I returned to India permanently as of now. So I did not take the re-entry permit. Instead, I recommend everyone who is leaving permanently to take the police clearance certificate, because in future sometimes when people are applying for US or European countries for visa, usually they ask this one, because if people have stayed in Korea for a long time. Then regarding all other things, I have shared in detail in my PPT. I traveled with my wife, daughter, and son. Like daughter is 5 years and son is 2 years old. So everybody had to take RT-PCR test. And I did the test one day before. Like my flight was on 24th February, midnight, like 11:50 p.m. So I did the test one day before. Actually, if you look at the Ministry of Home Affairs, that one, because many people have a doubt, like what these 72 hours before taking the Dubai flight or before taking the Seoul flight. So in the Ministry of External Affairs, that notification, it says this test should be conducted within 72 hours prior to undertaking the journey. So I think even if it is taken like 2 days before, it would be okay since we are taking from Seoul. But I would recommend to take it one day before, because in my case, I could get the test result in the morning, and my flight was almost towards midnight. So yeah, but it's better to carry that Ministry of Home Affairs, that printout. I carry it so that in case somebody questions that one in India, like because I had a long layover, I reached early in the morning to Dubai, and like my flight was almost 7:30 in the evening. Yeah, so that's one thing you can keep in mind. Then other thing, in case of Air Suvidha, like others said, earlier we were able to register in Air Suvidha and take printout without uploading the RT-PCR test. But now it is not possible. So you can fill up the Air Suvidha only after taking RT-PCR test result. The thing is, maybe you will not get much time to take printout, because you need to carry the printout of Air Suvidha confirmation also. So this confirmation, I saw some query from someone in the chat there. So you will very quickly get the Air Suvidha confirmation if you are uploading the RT-PCR test result. So if you have time before flight, you can take printout before going to airport. But if you are not able to take printout, there is also a facility near the Emirates counter. There is a PC and there is a separate printer. So you can log into your Gmail and download the file and take printout. Because this printout is mandatory. It is not enough to show in the phone, because Emirates staff also say the thing to take printout. I saw some people in Dubai airport. They did not have printout, and there was in the Marhaba service, there was a service to print out the ticket, but they did not have dollar or what is the currency in Dubai. So they did not have that currency also, and there was no currency exchange also. So they were just going here and there to find some alternative. So always keep the printout. At least from the Incheon airport, please take the printout if you did not take till that time. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. And for taking RT-PCR from Korea, there is a like one phone number 1339 which you can use to call. You can use to that service to call and check the hospitals near to your location, which the hospitals which do the RT-PCR test, and you need to ask to get the test result in English. Right. So other things I have already shared in my PPT. So if you have any queries, you can feel free to ask.
Yeah, thank you, Harishji. Just I will to add few points about the Air Suvidha. Just like while going from, if you are going from Korea to India via Dubai, then you have to fill the flight details in the self-reporting form. So you can fill flight details from Dubai to first destination to the final destination of India, where you are going finally. And regarding the seat number, you can fill anything, any random seat number, and then other things have been discussed by Harishji in all the details.
And regarding the marhaba, just marhaba, I forgot to mention. Like okay, I earlier Ganeshji had not specified SpiceJet option, so I had taken SpiceJet from Dubai to Mangalore. So in this case also I had to use Marhaba luggage transfer service. So this luggage transfer service is available in T2 terminal and T3 terminal. So if you have a long layover in Dubai airport, it's better to use the T2 terminal itself, because you will be staying there up to 4 hours before your flight. So only before 4 hours you will be allowed to go to T3 terminal. So you can use Marhaba service there. Since mine was, I had 4 members in family and 4 checked in baggage. It cost me around 125 USD in total for four piece of checked in baggage. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Harishji. And about the these are the list of cheaper hospital in Seoul, and from that you can also, what Harishji have mentioned, you can get the hospital details after calling 1339. And this all the details have been shared in the SRK Telegram group. So now I request Tabrez Alamji for share his experience from Incheon to Mumbai on 19th Feb. Tabrez ji.
Yeah, hello everyone. So on 19th Feb, I traveled from Incheon to Mumbai via Emirates and Fly Dubai. So using this Dubai transit option. So total cost for my ticket was around 600K KRW, and means everything is already covered before in presentation. So I will quickly go through the what documents was asked for me. So at Incheon airport, means during the check-in, they checked the passport, my RT-PCR test report, Air Suvidha self-declaration form. So they specifically asked that this form should be filled online and we have to show the printout. And they asked to download the Arogya Setu app. So means, and means there are some documents which was not required for me because I was traveling permanently to India. So I didn't apply for re-entry permit. So the lady at the check-in desk, she asked to show the re-entry permit, but I explained her that I'm not going to come back, and I will surrender my ARC at the immigration. So I didn't have re-entry permit, so I didn't show. And Air Suvidha exception form was not applicable. Means I applied for that, but it was rejected because for Mumbai airport, quarantine means institutional quarantine is mandatory. So for 7 days we have to be quarantined in hotel, and for 7 days we have to be quarantined at home. So that Air Suvidha exemption form was rejected for me, so it was not available. And boarding pass was issued up to Dubai only. So for some people, actually, Fly Dubai boarding pass from Dubai to India is also issued at Incheon only. But for some people, they don't issue the Fly Dubai boarding pass. So for me, they issued boarding pass only from Incheon to Dubai. And they told me that another boarding pass from Dubai to Mumbai, I can get in Dubai airport. So that was not a problem. It's not an issue. So I just took the one boarding pass and went ahead. And my luggage was tagged directly to Mumbai. So I asked many times, that means I don't have to take my luggage back in Dubai. They said no, it will reach directly to Mumbai. No need to worry. And at means flight was smooth and all the process and everything was smooth. So when I reached Dubai, I had 13 hours of waiting time, and I tried to change the terminal from terminal 3 to terminal 2, but I was not allowed because they told that means terminal 2 is very small and they allow only 4 hours before the flight. So I stayed in terminal 3. It's a big terminal, lots of things are open there. All the duty free stuffs, foods, drinks, McDonald's, everything is open. So we can spend good time there. So I stayed there in terminal 3, and just before 4 hours, I went to terminal 2. And at the terminal 2, during the check-in, I showed my passport, RT-PCR test report, and again Air Suvidha form. And I asked again then about my luggage, that whether it will be transferred to Mumbai or not. They said that it will be transferred, no need to worry. So means check-in was finished there, and I was means they issued my boarding pass from Mumbai to from Dubai to Mumbai, and means flight was again smooth, no issue. And when I reached Mumbai, there they were checking the especially the SDF online SDF form and RT-PCR test report. And when I reached, actually, it was a surprise for me that my luggage was not arrived in Mumbai. So I reported one missing luggage complaint with the Fly Dubai desk, luggage desk. And they said that means it will be, means they will check and if they will found my luggage, they will send it to my hotel where I was getting quarantined. So this was the my complete flight experience. So it was pretty much smooth, except that luggage part. So luggage, they found the luggage and they sent after 2 days to my hotel. And this was the self-declaration form and RT-PCR test report. So I had test at Gangnam Severance Hospital. So test was a little bit expensive as compared to other hospital, especially Suwon Hospital, where I heard that this test is available at 80K. But at Gangnam Severance Hospital, I paid around 140K for this test. So the reason I went there, that means in the Gangnam Severance Hospital, they were also giving this sample taken time also in the report. So that's specifically that for that reason only I went to Gangnam Hospital, and I checked with other hospital like Suwon Hospital. So they said that they will not mention this sample taken time. So this was my overall experience. It was, there was no problem, means everything was very smooth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Tabriz ji, for sharing your valuable points in all regards.
Yeah.
Now I request Ganesh ji to share a recent experience of some other mates who have just traveled, because today she is not present. So her experience will be shared by Ganesh ji.
Yeah. So this is an experience shared by one of the other persons. So I'll be sharing it on behalf of her. So once you reach India, so whatever all the different documents that you require are already covered. So which is your passport, ARC, COVID report, the tickets, self-declaration re-entry. And if your state requires, you need to apply for a e-pass prior before leaving. And luggage is generally directly tagged till India, so that you do not need to worry about. And like previous speaker mentioned, the boarding pass is also in some cases both the boarding passes are given at Incheon itself, especially if your flights are Emirates plus Fly Dubai or Emirates plus Emirates. Otherwise you can collect it at Dubai. So one thing to note here is as last month when I had traveled to India, there was no COVID test at airport in India. But one thing to be noted is now from what we know, like all Indian, like at the Indian airport, you are supposed to undergo a COVID test by paying 1,250 rupees. So the process, as shared by the by the traveler here, the process takes about 30 minutes. And if you have a domestic transit flight, then you better inform them to give you a higher priority so that your COVID test will be completed very soon. So all these formalities that were mentioned will be finished at the first entry airport airport in India itself.
Yeah, thank you, Ganeshji, for
Okay,
sharing
thank
the
you.
recent travel experience. This lady have traveled on 1st March from Korea to India, and it seems that from now you can't apply the exemptions on their Suida. So
Yeah.
after reaching India, we have to do the COVID test. And
Yeah.
now I will
So
share my round trip. Yeah.
Also, one more point to add is please note, please before going, please check that recently the rules have been updated, and now I think Mumbai has institutional quarantines, and other airports you're supposed to undergo COVID test, and then they'll stamp you for the home quarantine. So please check this point.
Yeah. Thank you, Ganeshji.
Thank you.
Now I will share my round trip. I have also traveled recently from 29th Jan from Korea to India and 18th Feb from India to Korea when I'm planning, because due to the high cost, what Ganeshji also mentioned before, due to high cost from one side, when we compare that from Korea to Seoul to Dubai, is flight cost is in my time the flight cost is only 32K round trip, and if you are coming from Dubai to Seoul, that cost around 60K. So that is twice from both sides. And also from India to Dubai, is flight fare is cheaper than Dubai to Seoul, and my total journey was completed within 50K for round trip from Korea to India and India to Korea. So I suggest everyone who are planning to go from Korea to India and want to come back from India to Korea, so go for the round trip, and that round trip will take only extra 100K on. And if you have not mindset when you will come to Korea, then also you can book especially from Dubai to Seoul to Dubai and Dubai to Seoul round trip and on Emirates, and that can be reschedule your journey for 1 year or free of cost. So these things you can use this ticket you can use since till 1 year after changing your dates and rescheduling your dates. And from round trip from Dubai to India, you can take like Emirates or Fly Dubai. Both in this circumstance, there is no problem after coming from India to Korea via Dubai on Emirates and Fly Dubai with Dubai transit visa or without. Also with that also depends upon sometimes on airport. In my case, when I have traveled without the Dubai transit visa, but we suggest for saver side we can have the Dubai transit visa. And who have the planning for round trips, so better to spend minimum 16 to 18 days in India before coming back, because 14 days so in our case also home quarantine, so we can't travel before 14 days. So you have to be there in India more than 14 days, then you can travel back. And one-way trip through Dubai to India used to charge around 60K, and from India to Korea around 85K, and total around 125K, means 1.5 lakhs approximately. I'm saying from India to Korea and Korea to India, if you are booking individually on the Dubai route also in current situation. But if you are using round trip, then that can be done within 60K. And also you can do like semi round trip. Here also you can book from Emirates from Dubai, Seoul to Dubai, then fly Dubai from Dubai to India. Fly to Dubai usually cheaper, and also you can go more city in India. Emirates have certain city and certain timings, and also they have long layover in Dubai. but Fly Dubai have very short layover compared to Emirates, and you can go in the large city like Kolkata, Hyderabad, Chennai. There are frequent flight of this different city, Bombay. And semi-round trip, what I am talking about, we have also planned like Ganesh and Bhavya ma'am have went there in India with me on 29th and come back just 25th of February. They have booked that tickets from Seoul to Dubai on Emirates, so round trip. And on this one, you can also reschedule your journey on Emirates till 1 year free of cost. Then book your confident flight from Dubai to India. If you don't want to book the round trip from India to Dubai to India, then you can book one trip that will not cost too much, because Dubai to India flight fare is very cheaper. That will cost around, if you're booking SpiceJet, Indigo, Fly Dubai, anything, then that will cost around 10 to 60K. And while coming back, when you have a specific plan, then you can book on Fly Dubai or Emirates after that conditions, what are the requirement in that period. So you can plan your trip as a semi-round trip. If you have planned to come back within 1 year, if you have not planned to come back within 1 year, then yeah, no meaning of this one semi-round trip. But if somebody is going to Korea and somebody is going to India and have the plan, then they can do that. And also from this semi-round trip, you can save around this will charge 15K more than the round trip. So that is not too much higher cost. If you are going from single trip from India to Korea and Korea to India, that will cost you 145, means 1.5 lakh around after all this. Means I'm just saying approximate. But in this semi-round trip that will cost around 70 to 75K. So you can choose accordingly. And now, means after seeing all the speaker, and this round trip can be possible only through Dubai transit in current situation, because you from Korea to India you can go only from charter or Dubai route. We can't go from Doha another route till date. So if, and also like from India to Korea also, if you have planned to come back from Korea to India in future, so then you can like you can try to have the also round trip from Seoul to Dubai. Dubai to Seoul, and then Seoul to Dubai. So in this also, in future, if you want to come back, then you can come back. And this is the one thing important point around round trip, that don't think that if I am from I want to come from India to Korea, and if I will book first Korea to India and India to Korea to like save my money, that will be cheaper. But if you not travel, if your first travel first ticket, if you have not travel, then automatically your other ticket from round trip, that will be cancelled. So for validate the round trip also, you have to travel from respective destination, then that round trip will be work. So in future, if you want to, if you have planned to come back from Korea to India also, then you can take a risk from like, especially from Dubai to Seoul, and Seoul to Dubai and Emirates. And if you have planned to come back from Korea to India within 1 year, then you can change your journey, reschedule your plan, and then you can come from Dubai route. So this is all points from round trip and semi-round trip. So now I request Omkarji to share his experience, as he traveled from both Korea to India and India to Korea on charter. So we are very pleased to have his experience. Omkarji.
Hello everyone. The traveling was very smooth. I booked via Sejong Travels both the ways. So yeah, of course, there are a lot of restrictions on visa categories that are allowed to travel on the chartered flight. Nevertheless, the travel experience is smooth, seamless. It just takes around 8 hours, a direct flight to Bangalore and back from Bangalore to Seoul. If money is not a constraint, and schedule is not a constraint, then chartered flight is a very good option. And importantly, you can take a lot of luggage with you. So they are allowing 2 bags, I guess around 30 kilos, and 1 cabin baggage, and of course 1 laptop bag. And they are also serving food on board. If I would suggest, in case if you are vegetarian, you better pack up your lunch, dinner, whatever, because they are offering Korean food, and we, as we are vegetarians, we requested the Asiana crew members for vegetarian food. We also requested Sujong Travels, and the answer was negative. So they said like they are not able to provide such foods. So in case you're strictly vegetarians, better pack your lunch box. So yeah, in case you have any specific questions, I can take them.
Yeah, thank you, Omkarji, for sharing your valuable informations. So now we will thank you to all the especially members, and I request all the members for like have a question answer sessions. Please unmute yourself and ask the questions if you have query.
Hello.
See, so much. This is Rajiv Kumar.
Yes, Rajuji, boliye.
So thank you so much for organizing such a nice discussion. We really learned a lot. And actually, we are going to travel from Korea to India. And just yesterday, I applied for a re-entry permit for 10th of May. But it seems that yesterday maybe we will return back maybe in June. So is there will be any issue if we get a re-entry permit for 10th May and come back in June?
No, you have to like if your re-entry permit period is 10th May,
Yeah.
then you have to come back within the re-entry permit period only. Otherwise, before you can't exceed this durations. That is
So
there.
what should we do then? Again, we should apply.
For that, might be you can talk with the 1339. No, yeah, or immigration officials, and
1345.
Sorry, 1345, and we can discuss about these things. So might be there is possibility that you have to apply again for like longer time durations. And if you have the longer visa, then better to apply the re-entry permit if you have not a specific date to come back from India to Korea for 1 year, because you will get the maximum re-entry period for 1 year, if before the validity of ARC.
Okay. And just to just second question is, I have F2 visa. Of course, you clarify me, but anybody is there who travel on F2 visa? Because I heard that there was some visa issue in.
No, F2 visa, yeah, lots of people have traveled from especially Dubai route.
Okay.
So
Okay.
recently, daily basis, 5 to 6 people are traveling from India to Korea, and 2 people from Korea to India, and they are sharing their experience in the travel group from India to Seoul. So lots of people are there is no visa restrictions on Dubai Doha transit route. Only visa restrictions on the charter flights.
Okay. Thank you
From
so
India
much.
to Korea.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Any further query?
Hello. Hello. I have very different question rather than travel. So I'm Sandeep. So I'm in quarantine right now in Korea. So I have a question that like, what if I tested positive after 14 days? And what happens after that? So do they transfer to
No,
medical
if like,
facility?
yeah, if you get the positive after 14 days, then this health officials will like admit if the temperature will not be high, only you had your report is only positive. Sometimes that happens. Some symptoms of cough if you have no fever. Then also they have the specific quarantine institutional Korean facility. They will
Mhm.
inspect you and for especially 12 days. And after 7 days again, they will do the COVID test. And they will again, in between, the medical officer will check the temperature and all the details. And
Okay.
second time again, we will do the COVID test like 14 days.
Okay, so do we have to pay for that facility?
No, no. After for that, when you are come back to like from India to Korea, and if you face this, if you are not the major symptoms, and
Okay.
you have the health insurance, then that will be covered.
Okay, but like I don't have health insurance right now because I haven't joined my university because I'm under quarantine. I'm supposed to join after my quarantine period. So
Yeah, Miss, I have also know the one similar cases. One lady came in the November, and she
Mhm.
got the only positive, not have the positive case. This one first time she is coming from Korea to India, sorry, India to
Okay.
Korea, and she have just admitted as masters in some university. I've forgotten her the university name, and she got the positive cases, and but she had no fever, only cough. So she have admitted for self this one institutional quarantine area. From the Korean facility, and she have also not this health insurance. So
Okay.
Korean government for after 14 days, Korean government have provide her like food and all the institutional things, and after
Okay.
getting the negative certificate without any charge, they have again left her to
Okay.
go
Okay.
to their home. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Thank you
If
very
you were
much for
not
clarifying.
hospitalized, then hospitalized
Mhm.
case will be like little bit there. Some charges will be there, not too much.
Okay. 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 Thank you very much. Thank you.
Any further query?
Hello.
Yeah, yes.
Actually, in case of emergency, how one has to, do you need any documentary evidence of the emergency?
Like emergency cases, if you have like you can say that your mother in hospital or something treatment is going on, or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to go to like that, we can provide. Otherwise, you miss in some cases, like if you have some exams, or means in the current scenario, I know 2 to 3 people who have traveled in December. Uh, so they have told some emergency cases without providing any. If you do the request to immigrations, then might be possible you will get the COVID test. Sorry, re-entry permit at the airport. But this 1345 always used to suggest that better to have re-entry permit before your travel.
Lailesh, just I would like to add one more thing for that emergency travel. In the Air Suvidha, that notification from Ministry of Home Affairs, it says like you don't have to take RT-PCR test in case there is death in the family, but you have to mandatorily register in the Air Suvidha portal as an exception in case you are traveling that way. Because I know of one case where one person was traveling to India because of death of his father, but he was not allowed to board the flight because he had not registered in this Air Suvidha. He did not have RT-PCR test report, but he was traveling on an emergency. But he was not allowed to board because even if he don't have RT-PCR, he has to separately register as exception before traveling. So like if you can't take RT-PCR test, but you have to register anyway in that Air Suvidha portal.
Okay.
You got my point?
Yeah. Actually, I'm really thankful to all of you for your efforts. It's really very well appreciated for your time and efforts and what you are doing. Thank you so much.
Lailesh, up to you. Thank you. Vibhuti, I think Lailesh is not, I mean, he left the call.
Yeah. Lailesh's mic is silent.
Ah,
So,
okay,
Lailesh ji,
okay.
you're on mute.
Sorry. I had not
Okay,
seen.
okay.
Yeah. Any query further? Otherwise, we are our time is just we are proceeding most time. So any further query, then we can. So it seems most of our speaker have cleared all the doubts of the other participants, and that will be much helpful for the recent travelers. And now I request our key member Vibhu Jain to give the vote of thanks to all the members, helpful to the all recent travelers. Namaste everyone. Dhanyavad. Jai Hind.